it can be really hard to stay motivated to help yourself, your kids, your partner develop healthier eating habits, make different choices, be willing to try new foods, whatever your goals are, lose weight, exercise more, read more books. It can be really hard to stay motivated to help yourself and your family do those things if you are focused only on the end goal, the end product, because it often takes a lot of little steps to get there. So instead of focusing on that end goal, try focusing on little wins that help you move closer towards that goal. Hi, I'm Kiyah Duffey, nutrition expert, entrepreneur, speaker, and mom of 3. I help busy, health-conscious parents transform their family's relationship with food. So when my son, my middle child, was about 5 years old, he came with me to the grocery store. And as we usually do, we started in the fruit and vegetable aisle. And as he usually did and still does to this day, he tended to kind of wander around. He really always wanted to explore, still likes to explore, and he will kind of wander off a little bit. He always stays close. He's never in harm's way. I always know where he is, but he tends to wander a little bit. So he was with me at the grocery store, and we were in the fruit and vegetable aisle, and I was picking apples, choosing apples and putting them into our cart, and I heard his voice behind me. Mom, 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 can we please get this? And he was holding a vegetable out like it was an offering to the gods. I mean, just eyes wide, saucers, so excited. Can we please get this? And what he was holding was an eggplant. And I knew that he hadn't tasted an eggplant. Despite all of the things I tell you about, you need to give your kids lots of opportunities to try new foods, and they need to do it over and over again, and you have to keep trying. That's your job as a parent. I don't like eggplant. And so I don't make eggplant at home. I have not done the thing I tell you to do, which is to keep trying it. There are lots of other foods I do that with, but eggplant just isn't one. So I knew that he hadn't tasted it. I knew that he didn't know what it tasted like. I knew that he probably wasn't going to like it because he is actually my most picky, my most selective eater. And so I'm standing there as he's holding this vegetable, please. I'm thinking, I don't want to make eggplant. I don't want to have to find a recipe to make eggplant. I don't want to spend the money. Nobody's going to eat it. I'm not going to enjoy it. I'm going to waste money. Is it that much money? No, but I didn't want to do it. And then I thought, he's asking for this. You should say yes. And so I did. And we brought the eggplant home, and we looked for recipes. We looked for recipes that we could use to make it, and we spent time preparing it. And that night I brought it out and set it down on the dinner table. And he took one look at that eggplant and said, no. He didn't touch it. He didn't taste it. No, thank you. If I, in that moment, had only been thinking about the way that I help him become a better taster, a healthier eater, a more conscientious or mindful eater, if I had only been thinking about measuring success towards that goal by the fact that he was willing to eat that eggplant in that moment, I have considered myself having failed at that attempt. And honestly, when that happens over and over again, don't you want to just stop trying? I certainly did. Instead, rather than feeling like I failed because he didn't taste it, I was able to remind myself that he asked for something. He saw something that interested him and asked to bring it home. And he was willing to look through potential recipes. He looked through books with me to figure out what we could do to try to make it. And even though he didn't eat it, he did all of those other things. And all of those other things are actually small wins. And I was able to identify those and recognize those and say, okay, he didn't eat the eggplant. Frankly, I didn't want to either. but we did something together. He asked for a new vegetable. He was willing to touch it. He was willing to work with me for a little while to find a recipe, to prepare it. All of those things were really small but meaningful wins. And they gave me the energy that I needed to try doing that again. Now, I didn't try doing it again with eggplant because I still don't really love eggplant. I'll eat it if I come to your house and you make it for me. And I have had some really great eggplant dishes. I just don't like making it. So it can be really challenging to help your kids develop the kinds of eating habits you want, help yourself develop the kinds of eating habits you want, help your partner develop those, to help them try new foods, to help them think about making healthier choices. If all you're focused on are the big end goal, those big milestones that feel so very far away, there are so many little wins, little steps you take along the way towards reaching a larger goal that are successes. And if you can focus on those rather than just the end point and feeling like you have failed if you don't get to the end point, you will stay more motivated to reach those goals.